And this is my favorite memory because it's like, it doesn't really get better than that.
For sure.
I'm sure I'll have, great, awesome, more awesome moments, but there was this blanket there, right? And, I remember that, blind people, they see with their hands, right? Even if you think they won't appreciate it, they love the details, they love all that stuff. So, there's a clip of me where it's, I asked the mom, like, hey, if you want, your son can touch my armor and, my helmet and all that. So it's a clip of me just standing there and helping him feel out my helmet. It's just very touching moments. Like that,
send that over and you see it on the screen,
And it's, get ready for the waterworks. Have your tissues.
Damn,
but, it's a memory that I absolutely love and cherish.
Name Elaine. I keep wanting to say Elaine, and I've never seen something. But because she's a badass, like the real character. No, the real character in the comic books. That chick's a badass. The new regime lady.
The new regime lady, and that's what you can call me. You know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? It's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about? Bald version, right? I mean, how you doing? That's that beautiful man.
Dude.
So sensitive. I am, how dare you? I sensitive never. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? To my right hand side, you know what I'm saying? There's a man right here, a man that I refer to as my co-host. You know what I'm saying? A man who last episode, you know what I'm saying, had many things to say, not only with Sarah J, but with Alidoro. The man was excited about Alidoro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, come on. Big shout out, Alidoro. Emi, how you doing? To my right hand side, we got my co-host, Emi, in the heads. What's going on? I see the Ron John Surf Shop shirt. We're missing the Hawaiian shirts on deck.
Bro. I had an eye appointment. I had shit to do in the morning. And then I went home to go get changed. And they were doing brunch. And I was like, fuck, I guess I got to sit down for this bullshit. And then it ended and I had to go use the fucking saw.
Amen.
So
how's that one day project coming along?
It's good. It's good. Drywall's up, putty's up. I just gotta sand some shit and we'll be on our merry way.
And that's beautiful. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes, behind the cameras, you know what I'm talking about? There's a cameraman extraordinaire. You know what I'm talking about? Let's say you're having technical difficulties like we were right before we started. You know what I'm talking about? There's only one man that you need to call, and that is Juan Cruz in the his house. What is going on? Everything good? Everything good?
Got a haircut.
Clear cut, looking fresh to death.
Oh, I need to get
gotta love it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we actually have an in-house studio audience as well. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, you see her on the GoPro. We got Katya in the his house. Ladies and gentlemen, how do I even put into words the introduction that I have before me today? You know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have a dream, you gotta pursue it. In every aspect of what that craft may require. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, the man before me is an actor. You know what I'm talking about. A thespian for those in the game, in the know-how. It's such a cool world. Shout out Sarah J, because it's very dangerously close to another word. You know what I'm talking about. The man before me is a thespian in many more ways than one. You know what I'm talking about. The man is not only a thespian, an actor. The man's a model. You know what I'm talking about. The man right here is a cosplayer as well. You know what I'm talking about. It all falls under the umbrella of creativity that this man before me holds. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the Midnight in Miami studio, we have Eddie Lagares in the his house.
I love it.
Gotta do it. Gotta bring it right. You know what I'm saying? We had like 45 minutes of technical issues, and now we're back on track, and that's me coming back to life. Shout out Train to Busan, zombie reference. Eddie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's hot outside, but I'm doing great.
It
I have
is
my water.
hot.
You guys saved me with the water.
Bro, that's smart water. You know, we're
fuck.
trying to get that sponsorship, baby.
Inteligente.
You know. The man is from DR. You know what I'm talking about? I love the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Gotta rep.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Eddie, a little bit about your background. How'd you get into acting? You know, how has your background from the DR influenced your career choice? Talk to me about the roots.
So, you know, everyone has a place where they start.
Right.
Right. And I got lucky enough that my parents brought me from the DR to Miami, you know. And then ever since then, I grew up, private school, you know, the whole Shazam thing.
Right.
And then one day my dad had a camera and I borrowed it here and there.
Right.
And as a kid, you'd make these stupid little videos that you thought was
yeah.
funny.
Hell yeah.
So,
Oh, we know that all too well. Shout out middle school band, baby. You know what I'm saying?
so one day I just grabbed it and I just, you know, I didn't even storyline anything. It was just grab and eat, and, you know, eat shit or whatever, right?
Right.
And at one, I actually fell. Like, I actually fell, right? But it was so authentic. And so I had forgotten about it. And then my dad watches it one day and he's laughing, right? And you know, he's like, dude, like, this is hilarious. Like, you should, you know, you're good at this, right? And I kind of fell in love with the whole, you know, making people laugh at first, because that's where it all started, like making people laugh, right? And then, you know, ADHD as a kid, I'm hyper, tutoring. The tutor is like, hey, you got to put him on an extracurricular activity because, you know, he needs to focus his energy.
Right.
So they put me in Taekwondo, and I, from there, loved it. Because, you know, as a kid, you're watching Dragon Ball Z or Naruto and all that
bro,
stuff.
big shout out to
And then
you.
you know, you're just like, oh man, this is, you know, I can bring this into reality, right? Like, you know, but I loved it. And, you know, something that kind of kept me going was also the fact that, you know, my dad got his yellow belt from Bruce Lee.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Well, we're not going to brush over that name drop. Yeah, we're going to name drop. Like, okay, like, damn, all right.
So Bruce Lee one day did an exhibition at the DR, and he went and he, you know, Bruce Lee in the DR, right?
Wow.
That's a black belt in real life.
Yeah, like, wow.
So he did an exhibition, and then this is, you know, when my story kind of gets a little bit more interesting is I kind of, as a martial artist, you don't have just masters, right? Like, you have these people who train your masters, and then that kind of becomes like a family. It's like, oh, that's kind of like grandfather, right?
Right.
So it's like, you know, I had this story to keep this whole martial artist in me going because Bruce Lee gave my dad, you know, yellow belt, right?
Wow.
But it gets deeper than that. So one day I get home and there's this paper bag, right? And in the paper bag, there's a pair of nunchucks. And I'm like, and they're heavy.
Hell yeah.
Heavy wooden nunchucks.
Damn,
that
this
look.
Hell yeah, bro.
This is a scene out of a movie right here.
Heavy wooden nunchucks that look like they've aged. Not bad. You know, they've aged well,
Yeah.
but they've got, you know, age to them.
Right.
And, you know, I'm like, hey, Dad, is this for me? He's like, yeah, you know, a family friend left it for you. So he calls me and he's telling me the story of the nunchucks. And it's pretty much leading back to when Bruce Lee did the exhibition in the DR. He loved it so much that he bought the nunchucks that Bruce Lee used in the exhibition.
Cool.
Wow.
So as a nunchuck guy, I'm proud owner of one of Bruce Lee's nunchucks.
That's
cool.
crazy.
And it's you know, I'm good with the nunchucks, and it's funny that I still haven't used them. Like,
Right.
I still haven't. I've been wanting to, you know, go on Instagram and be like, all right, these are the nunchucks, and then
Right.
these babies.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm just looking for the right time to do it.
Right. You just
know?
need like divine
It's not-
intervention.
they're
It's like
not-
me watching Hamilton. I understand.
Yeah, they're not just nunchucks. They're Bruce Lee's nunchucks.
I understand. He understands. Everybody understands.
You can't just laugh at it.
You can't just do it. You can't just.
Bruce Lee's nunchucks, yeah, like that one time I watched the music.
No. I didn't watch it, and that's where, and therein lies the truth. Okay, you need to feel it,
Yeah.
right? You need to feel
Yeah.
it.
when the time is right, I'll post about it, because it's not just something that you just post.
I get what you're
Exactly.
saying.
It's not like, hey, look, Bruce Lee's nunchucks. Like, no, you gotta.
Of course.
Oh yeah, no, you can't just.
You posted them without using them though.
I have, yeah. I was ecstatic. Of course, I have to show them off a little bit,
you
right?
gotta flex.
But
Come on.
That's an ornament in the entry of my house.
Yeah.
These are heavy, high quality wooden nunchucks.
Wow.
That's from the man himself.
From the man himself. There's 2 shout outs in order from this story. One, Bruce Leroy, you know what I'm saying, coming through. And also, I'm just
The guy that wrote Hamilton.
All right, I mean, no, not that, but also, I hear the story of him getting his yellow belt. Big shout out Richard Mayo getting that purple belt last night. You know what I'm saying? At PFL 29, getting that dub. You know what I'm saying? We love to see our prior guests reach all new levels, all new highs of success. You know what I'm saying? And that's
What belt did he get
absolutely
yesterday?
beautiful. I'm sorry.
What belt did he get yesterday?
Purple.
Purple.
Yes.
Dang,
Yes. And he got it after winning, so that's pretty dope.
This is in jiu-jitsu?
This is actually, it's a jiu-jitsu belt, yes. And it was an MMA fight that he
Nice.
actually, yeah.
Nice.
Talk to me about the influence that martial arts has had on your acting career. Do you find yourself normally gunning for roles that require some sort of physical requirement in regards to being able to have fighting experience or anything of that sort? Do you find yourself going for roles that have some sort of mixed martial art element combined, or not really?
So, my goal is I want to do action movies,
Right.
obviously, right? I want to be this badass guy.
Hell yeah.
Bro, you are a badass guy, bro. Come on.
But I want to also, be in tune with, as an actor, right? I want to go the full length. I want to be able to cry on command. I want to be able to do these dramatic, award-winning films that people relate to, whether it's being homeless, suicide, and all this stuff, right?
Right.
And it's a really good platform to be able to show all that, show that side, going the full length, because it's like when I first, the first time I ever read a script, right? And I memorized it, and being able to mold into the character that you read, to becoming that character and making it your own, is a heck of an experience, because it's euphoric, right?
Right.
You're just like, you're in the zone, you're there, but you're not really there. You're letting this other person come out,
right?
And it's like this switch, and then when you're done, you're just like, oh, I gotta do more. I needed to see how far I can go, right? And I think the challenging part is just kind of wanting. You're never gonna reach the top, right? I've asked actors these all the time, and I'm like, are you?
Well, what is the top? That's
yeah,
the thing.
like there's no top. It's just doing your best,
right?
And having fun with it. And that's where people kind of get the wrong idea. It's like, oh my God, I want to make it to the top. I want to make it, the top. But there is no top. You're just always climbing, and you're always doing your best. And what you have to do is just always, give back to the community.
Right.
It's you just be a good person.
Oh yeah.
And use the platform to do good.
Yeah.
So
and it's not.
Who's
It's
like an actor then because I'm trying to think of like actors that can do like real deep performances, but also have like action aspect to it. I can't think of a lot like that have been able to master. Liam Neeson, actually, I take that back.
Liam Neeson is
Neeson's a
one. I was gonna
gangster.
say him. He's. I saw a movie about him where he played a father who, alcoholism, right?
Okay.
And his son originally was, Italian, right? I forgot the name of the movie. I gotta look it up, but it was a beautiful movie because it was about the relationship of a father and a son, and they never talked about the mother because it was too hard, because it was the father's fault that, he was drunk and he had a mother take him, and then there was an accident, and all that shit. I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys in case you guys want to see it, but
I appreciate that. There's some people that drop spoilers like there's nobody's business, bro.
Yeah.
Like, God.
So, it's
Cruise. Hey, bro.
it's stuff like that heartwarming, you want to tug at the
heartstrings.
heart, you know? And I find that doing that through acting is probably one of the most beautiful ways of doing that.
What I guess what's the difference in the in what you have to go through to prepare for a role, as far as you know, you have to go through an emotional commitment for a role, and then comparing it to, let's say, when you're training, it's far more of a physical demand that your body has on you. What's easier for you? You know, is it, you know, working out for 3 hours, for 3 hours straight, you know, you did 500 crunches or sit-ups or whatever, and it doesn't even phase you? Or is it more demanding for you to have to go through this, you know, an emotional place in your life that you're not really trying to go through? And like you said, cry on command, that takes a tremendous amount of emotional awareness and training. And you really have to put yourself in a shit situation that you went through to really make that portrayal genuine and not forced. So what's easier for you? What do you prefer?
I prefer to create the character. I literally look at myself in the mirror, you know, and I see, okay, how would this character say this line? You know, is he pissed off? Is he confused? Is he about to, like, you know, cry while talking? You know, because there's crying, and then there's crying while talking.
Yeah, bro.
That tremble.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh.
And holding it back, and like you're crying, you're just like, you know, the whole.
Got to take those moments, baby. You got to take those moments.
Those breathing moments. And it's funny because we were talking about Friends earlier, and Joey had this trick that they taught him, and it's just like, just look into the distance.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember your line, yeah. But it works, right? You got to take those pauses.
Shout out soap operas.
Damn, yo. Wow. Okay. Have you gotten into the theatrical realm of acting? You know, have you dabbled into theater as well? Is this something you're interested in?
It's definitely something I'm interested. Hugh Jackman. I mean, the Wolverine, but he also does a lot of beautiful plays,
right.
and he can sing. Mm-hmm. And, definitely one of the actors I look up to.
Okay.
I want to be able to reach that level one day. To be able to kind of go from this crazy Marvel character, right? That everyone loves.
Oh yeah.
To sing beautifully in a, you know, French play or Australian play, or even one of his plays that he's produced. And so it's time, just take it one step at a time, right?
Right.
Because it's like you do one project and then you see it, you know, it's weird seeing yourself on the screen and you're like, oh, I could have done that differently, right? You're your own worst critic,
for sure.
right?
Right, for sure.
And so it's always weird, and I always look at it first, and it's like, oh, so cringy for me, right? And then the next day, I guess after it's settled in my mind, I'll see it again, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, it's not that bad. I like it, and I can improve here and there. I could have done this better.
Do you always watch yourself, or are there times that you're like, I'm good?
I always watch myself, even if I don't want to, because it'll help. It helps. I mean, I know it's going to be one day where I won't, because I'll be that confident that I know on point what I have to work on.
Yeah, you already have your notes.
Exactly. There, yeah. And so, you know, over time, it'll just come into play. Like, so for example, I started off, everything was separate, right? As a martial artist, it was separate, and then acting was separate, and then all of a sudden it came back together as fight choreography. So recently we did a project for Berserker.
Okay.
Me and Geekweist, who, you know, does amazing work.
Big shout out.
And huge shout out. And so, you know, he came to me, Comic Books Pro came to me, and Comic Book Pro, what am I saying? It's like in this whole situation. So Tim, he used to own a comic book shop, right? And then, you know, he just did it online, and he came up to me, and Tim was like, dude, how would you feel about bringing a comic book character to life? And I'm like, well, I would love that. Which comic book are we talking about?
Right.
He's like, well, there's a certain actor that you know of, Keanu Reeves, who's coming up with his own comic book, Berserker.
What?
And I immediately say, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you don't want to hear? I'm like, no, I don't want to hear the rest. Yes. Keanu Reeves.
Hell yeah.
Also, yes.
It's Keanu Reeves, right?
You're saying Neo needs me.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
John
Exactly.
Wick,
Yeah.
bro. John Wick.
Neo,
You know,
come
he
on.
told me that he had kind of notes from Boom Studios at the time that they couldn't really save, but we had to kind of go about what we knew at the time, right? This crazy guy who's lived like 80,000 years and doesn't know how to die, wants to figure it out and all that stuff. And when he told me that, I was like, all right, no, I'm in. Like, let's do this. And so that's where like some of my fight choreography skills that I've learned, you know, over the last 4 years came into play with camera angles, right? And it was like this moment of, we were super proud, right? Because it wasn't like this guy, this guy, 80,000 years, he knows all this stuff, right? But he adapts to the situation. So for example, like the situation that I'm in, you know, with my character is tactical situation. So there was, you know, knives and knowing what to do with the knives and, you know, being stabbed, and it was very gory. You guys should watch it, right?
Hell yeah.
You know, we released it, and then the comic book release, obviously we're not associated with them, right? The whole legality issue. And we're just inspired by it. We wanted to bring this whole fruition to Keanu's baby, right? And so the comic book came out, we read it, and we got like 90% on the spot.
Damn.
Of how, yeah. So we were like super proud.
Wow.
And then maybe a month later, I think, you know, Tim, we're doing because he has a podcast too, right?
Right.
And
Plug him in. What is it?
what is it?
I see, bro, you see it on the screen.
You'll see it on the screen.
You see it on the screen.
My brain like clicked off right now.
There you
for a
go.
second.
Just send it to me after, and you see it on the screen.
Yeah. So Tim, you know, he's telling us on the podcast that Keanu Reeves saw it.
Shut
and
up.
absolutely loved it. And I was just like, that's it. I can die happy. Like,
Gang shit.
You know,
what?
I thought this is where we were going with this story, but I was like,
Nah, there's
he can't be
no
so
way.
casual about Keanu Reeves saw my
Dude.
shit.
yeah.
Oh
and
my.
so during the same time period that he told us that, you know, they announced Keanu is coming up with, you know, Netflix adaptation for his comic book. So Keanu, if you're seeing this, please,
And he is.
by all means,
What?
get me on board with this project.
Keanu, what's popping, baby? Let's network. Let's get it happen.
I didn't know Keanu had a comic book.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
awesome.
very, very badass.
For real?
And if Netflix
Very
is gonna do
badass.
it,
Wow.
they did great with the Marvel shit before
very-
DC. Before they went with Disney, rather.
Were you always a fan of comic books before getting into cosplaying?
I was a fan, yes, but I didn't know that I could become even more of a bigger fan.
Wow.
Right? Like collecting comic books, really getting to know the lore, where the comic book creators come from, stuff like that. Like you never really paid attention to it until, you know, recent years.
Maybe it's just me, but it feels like there's kind of like a resurgence of like comic books and like just that whole scene.
We took, you know, stigma of the nerd
Right.
stigma,
Yeah.
right? Like you're weak if you're a nerd, whatever, right? But like the thing is, it's like everyone's a nerd. Everyone has a passion. Everyone has something that they like, right? And, you know, let's be serious. Like, who doesn't like anime?
Right.
You know,
Most people.
everybody did the Kamehameha. Everyone,
yeah.
everyone did Rasengan.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
But only some of us were able to summon that.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm telling you. And we crack jokes about it all the time. Like 9.5 times out of 10, any MMA fighter that you're going to meet, they love anime.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it inspired them.
Jahiro's it's not anime, but she was a big fan of Twilight. Shout out Jahira. She won last night, and she's a Twilight
gang
fan, and
shit.
she's beautiful. All right,
Yeah,
there you go.
Team Vampires.
Team Vampires. There
Gang
you go.
shit.
What are some comic books that you yourself are a fan of?
comic books that I'm a fan of. DC and Marvel. They really do. I mean, you know, they've done an amazing job with their comic books and their lores and just bringing these different storylines to the characters, especially after all of these years. you know?
Yeah, that they're able to keep them going. It's crazy.
It's a crazy thing how
The continuity is also crazy, bro.
Yeah. And then like
Captain America's from the fucking 50s, bro.
Yeah.
exactly.
Crazy.
And then Batman, everybody knows Batman's story, but they keep revamping him up.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, yeah. You know?
Crazy.
And so it's like these cool things. And obviously martial arts comes into play because,
Of course.
you know, I'm a martial artist and these characters have inspired me. Like the way they train. Like if I'm going to do a cosplay of a character, I'm going to make sure I train like that character, right? Because as an actor, I'm still going to portray the character. I'm not just cosplaying. I'm embodying the character to bring people that joy of seeing their character in real life. Because that's a responsibility, right? Like you're not going to just throw a costume on and not know anything about the character. Right? Like that's a disrespect, I think.
That's like when you put on a band t-shirt, you ain't never fucking listened to Nirvana a day in your life, bitch. The fuck are you doing?
Shout out Bobby Lee.
Shout out Bobby Lee, bro. God.
Exactly. Yeah, it really is a responsibility, right? Because it's not just for yourself. Especially if you're going to these cons, like you say, you're going there knowing full and well that everyone there, or a significant amount of people there, know what the fuck is going on with that character, right? So at any time,
the last thing you want to do, the last thing you want is like to be caught off guard.
Right.
Oh, so what do you what's your character? Yeah. And like,
I don't know, bro. My boy gave me this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I borrowed it from my boy. It's a little sweaty, but whatever, you know.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
Trash.
it's this whole beautiful community that brings characters to life, right? And I think I really experienced that, appreciation in the last con that I was at, which, a girl, it was, we hadn't taken our vaccines yet, and it was a very scary thing to do, very risky, right? And, a lot of people didn't like it, and the cancel culture, all that stuff, right? But, we did it, we went through it, and, nothing out of the ordinary came out, but this girl was fangirling over Ichigo Bleach, right? And she's like,
so is Cruz.
she was literally, she was like, I'm sorry, like, and I was seeing her from from my eye, and she's like, I'm sorry, like, she was so nervous, right? And she's like, can I give you a hug? Like, please. I'm like, I'm wearing my mask, I have my hand sanitizer on, like, come give me a hug, it's okay. And she was so happy that she got to hug one of her favorite characters. Yeah. And I was so happy that I got to, I made her day through that, right? And it was like those beautiful moments that you do. And then there's the charity work that you do. I'm good friends with Liz Wonder. And if you don't know who that is, she's, an amazing friend, amazing person. And she looks like, Gal Gadot. And that's, she just blew up, right?
Right.
Everyone loves her. She's and that's an example of doing things for the right reasons, right? So she really got me, she helped me get into charity work and all that. And then there's this one charity that we did, it was for foster kids, right? And this is my favorite memory because it's like, it doesn't really get better than that.
For sure.
I'm sure I'll have, great, more awesome moments, but there was this blind kid there, right? And, I remember that, blind people, they see with their hands, right? Even if you think they won't appreciate it, they love the details, they love all that stuff. So, there's a clip of me where it's, I asked the mom, like, hey, if you want, your son can touch my armor and, my helmet and all that. So it's a clip of me just standing there and helping him feel out my helmet. It's just very touching moments. Like
Send that over and you see it on the screen,
And it's, get ready for the waterworks. Have your tissues. But, it's a memory that I absolutely love and cherish. And I miss it because COVID really, we couldn't hang out with the kids anymore. And we had to wait. And
they're not like looking into... Like if you're vaccinated,
we're looking into it again. It's not easy because, it's funny because we started doing this before we realized that some of these kids were terminal, and it was going to be the last time. So
Do you know beforehand?
Well, we told Tim, who's, we told him, I'm like, hey, can you tell us, like, just so we can have a heads up, because, one day he messages us at 2 a.m. and he's saying, the little girl from the other day, unfortunately didn't make it. Yeah. And that was hard, but he also let me know, he reminded us, he was like, look, it sucks, but at the end of the day, you made her happy. And we were like a Spider-Man group.
Very cool.
And we made her happy.
Yeah.
And that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
But, it's just one of those things that, again, comes back to responsibility.
Right.
Right? Of throwing that character on and being that character, and as an actor, making fans happy.
Right. And I think that's one of those things that most people don't even think about or correlate when thinking about cosplaying. They think about the cons and all that stuff, but people don't think about you guys actually going to hospitals and visiting children, and I commend you for that. That's very
Absolutely.
cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
I fell in love with it, and I want to do it for as long as as I can.
Right.
But that's the nice side of cosplay right now. Not time for like the badass side.
Yeah.
So I mean that's badass too, but as a martial artist, I absolutely love coming up with my unique, like I get together with my friend Chris, who he started it for me, right? Like he was like, dude, we bumped into accidentally, like by chance. We used to train together in Taekwondo, and we used to beat each other up, right? And then, one day I'm at a con because the Marlins had a table at SuperCon, right?
Okay.
And it was random because, like, what are the Marlins? What are we going to do?
I was just thinking,
Yeah. Like, bro,
I was like, what are we doing at con?
Baseball?
Bro, they're trying to scout people, bro.
But anyways, like, that's where I fell in love with it. I was like, man, like, this is a cool culture. Like, these people are, like I saw some really cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
And, I met Erica Cosplay. I met Mark Knight Rises, who, he does really great Batman. And it caught my eye. I was like, God, I gotta get into this. So I went roaming around and I bumped into my friend who I didn't know because he had a mask on, right? And it's him, his wife, and his daughter. And they're all wearing, bat suits. And I take a picture with them, right? And I didn't find out that it was him until maybe weeks later. And I messaged him, I'm like, dude, is this you? And he's like, yeah. Like, what the heck? Like, we took pictures together without knowing, right? Because we both had helmets on. And we're like, we felt so stupid. And he's like, dude, like, let's get together. Let's start working on stuff. So we got together. We started making the first thing that he knew more than I did, right? I kind of just went in for the ride, and he taught me, like, pretty much everything I know from, Mod Podging, things you don't usually do on costumes, right? And the first thing we did was Arkham Knight, because it was a very popular character at the time. We're like, let's bring it to life, but let's add our own style. So we would sketch out different things because, again, I like being unique. I don't like being like everybody else, right? So I'm like, let's make this badass, but let's make it true to the character, right? So, at the end of the whole journey of working with foam, Mod Podging, blowtorch to make it hard and all that stuff. It's legit Iron Man stuff and cave stuff, right? and I'm surprised because it's we're going through an era where there's guys actually building armor. I'm surprised we haven't seen a vigilante actually do some crazy stuff,
honestly,
right?
Yeah, because I have seen recently the Iron Man thing where his
yeah. So going back to comic books, it inspires what's on paper, what's illustrated to life. And it's this crazy thing that you're you never thought would be real, right? Walking around and you feel good.
Damn.
You feel good. You're in this suit, right? And maybe 5 years ago it'd be weird, right? Walking around, taking pictures and stuff like that. Not even 5 years, 10 years ago, right? And now it's just people know.
Oh yeah.
They see you taking a picture and they want to take a picture with you, and they're like, oh my God, cosplay. I want to take my kids there next year. And stuff like that. And it's this whole movement, right?
Yeah, it's really taken over.
Oh,
it's taken over. And it's obviously more than just cosplay.
Right.
It all goes back to bringing the characters to life and passion and, these nerds that were in basements, didn't know what to do with their life, and now they have
some purpose or something.
some purpose.
Or an
right?
outlet that they finally get to release.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And there's a lot of
Yeah,
those
because
guys.
I remember when we were kids, that was not a thing. Like,
No.
like dressing up.
I mean, you would
or
dress up for movie
even
premieres.
liking comics
For
and
movie
shit.
premieres was
For
the
movie
thing.
premieres,
Yeah, like I did Harry Potter gang
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's the thing. That's
You
the
were
other
a
shit.
How dare you.
nerd.
Am.
You were a nerd.
am, and I'm also on the road to 205. What's happening? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's different, right? It's very, very weird. Because I remember my uncle was a fucking nerd. Like, he would do all that stuff, D&D. And I remember as a kid, maybe 11, 12, being like, that's a fucking weird person. We weren't supposed to do that
The
stuff.
D&D.
But now
low
it's
key,
super
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
Like, D&D is super
Now I
talked
totally want to
about.
try D&D. I mean, it looks pretty
I
fucking
can't
cool.
get into it, bro. Honestly,
Have you tried?
I have. I've tried multiple
all
times.
right. Well, then-
And I drink. The problem is sometimes I drink too much, and then I
you
lose.
don't-
And then I
you
lose
lose-
focus.
You're like, I'm the
Yeah.
fucking warlock,
Or
bro.
I don't drink enough, and then I start falling asleep.
Damn.
So it's been tough.
I have a group of friends that they want me to do it with them, and it's funny because
It's a commitment, bro.
it's a commitment. It's a commitment, and
You need a special
they're trying.
table.
It's fucking
they're-
hours.
They're trying to bring him back to life.
Yeah.
more,
Right.
you know.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are doing this,
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of like celebrities. A lot of people are talking.
Oh, they have
about
their
it.
own little group, yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird, man. It wasn't a thing 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Like, you couldn't talk about it.
Right.
Now it's super.
But I mean, it's also
Everywhere.
I feel like that's also a branch of gaming. Like, but
Yeah.
like 10, 15 years ago,
Game
it was
shit.
like, right. It was like your father got on your case if you were, a certain age and you were still gaming, but now the father's the one with the, with the gaming setup,
Papa over here. in
Right,
Warzone.
there you
Catch me,
go,
bro.
gang
And
shit.
and it goes back to, like, for example, like 40 years ago, it wasn't a melting pot, right?
Right.
It was like, if you're a jock, you're a jock. If you're a nerd, you're a nerd.
Right.
If you're a cheerleader, you're a cheerleader, right? Like, if
theater
you're
kid.
if you're a model, you're a model. If you're a theater kid, you're a theater kid, right? But now it's like you're everything,
Right.
Right? You want to be a model, theater, cosplay, cool.
Right.
You want to be an athlete, jiu-jitsu, kick-ass, film, cool.
Right.
Just mix it into a way where it fully connects to what you want to do.
Exactly.
Right? It's like this whole formula for yourself, and we're exploiting it for the world, right?
There you go. There you go.
And
That's
that's true.
beautiful.
That is true because it was very demarked. Everything was very. It was lines.
Yeah.
You couldn't jump.
At some point, like, people just stop caring. They're like, this is cool.
You think it's
Right.
like that in high school? Like, you think they've adapted in high school?
well,
or you think they still got those lines?
They've adapted, but the thing with, high school kids now, right? They're more into, like, TikTok,
Right.
which
Dang shit. Shout out
TikTok
Hell yeah.
started a lot of cosplayers.
Actually,
right?
that's where I noticed the
especially the
cosplay
makeup
was so
artists.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that's why you're on there.
Well, no, that's what. Well, that's not what I'm on with. That's not even part of the conversation. But my point is, that's where I noticed that cosplay was mainstream.
Yeah.
Because on the like explore page,
They bring it to
tons
life.
of times you see a bunch of different. Like, you do
TikTok-
see repeating faces,
TikTok-
but you also see a lot of new faces and doing this shit. And I'm like,
Cosplay
oh, this is obviously
is
across the board.
huge with
Yeah.
with
Yeah, but that's not why I'm there. Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have three segments, and the first one is actually called Mail Time. I hope you're ready. Because we normally send, every Saturday you go on social media, you go on Instagram, you send in a plethora of questions that we will read on the air for the guests. You know what I'm talking about? But today we'll switch it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We have an studio audience, and I'm thinking, why not get a question live and direct
There we go.
from the in-studio audience? Kill the middleman, you know what I'm saying? And you just have them right here, you know what I'm saying? But for every other time, if we don't have an in-studio audience every Saturday, boom, you can ask a question to our illustrious
Did he give you
guest.
time to prep, or did
know
he just
what I'm
spring this
she,
on you right
she
now?
just found out like
'Cause
right
I would
now.
be sitting there like, what?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Shit.
Even I knew about it before.
Oh yeah, when I was like, I hope you're ready, that was her heads up. Ladies and gentlemen, Katia with the microphone.
Okay, so out of every single character that you've portrayed in cosplay, what's been your favorite?
Ooh, respect. She
That's a
did
good one.
She did come prepared. She did come prepared.
That's a good one. Can I choose two? It has to be one.
Okay, you can choose two, but which of the two was your favorite?
She'll allow
since
it.
I'm a huge Bleach fan, Ichigo's one.
This is the main character
And
with the
then-
You
giant
see it on the screen. You see it on the screen.
The other one, it's gotta be, man, that's a tough one.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to go.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to go with Nightwing on that one.
Nightwing.
Because
Good one.
I never thought I would cosplay him, but
Because I know you. Don't
we
know what he looks
did
like
me
out there,
and
yeah.
Geek Vice, we did a fan film short for
Okay.
Nightwing, and it was on the spot. It was supposed to be random, like a 5-minute thing, and then it turned on to this full production that came out amazing, and you guys can see that on the link too.
Boom.
But yeah, no, that's two of my definitely favorite ones.
All right, but out of those two, which one's your favorite?
Out of those two,
This is Nightwing.
Oh yeah, I know.
Bleach, the
Bleach?
Ichigo, yeah.
Did you wear the orange hair and all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you bleach your own hair or did you wear a wig?
No.
Come on.
good.
Thank you.
I'm
Let's pump the brakes on.
I'm not on that level yet.
Come on, bro.
You gotta ask, bro. You know?
I'm not on that
And the
level.
name, the name of the show is Bleach. So, you know.
Actually, that's actually. I wonder. Do people get so if the character have people been so devoted that if the character has a certain tattoo, they'll get the tattoo?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be that. Damn.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna ask about the hair. The tattoo seems aggressive.
The tattoo's
You just
way
said
more
yes,
aggressive.
Just blew my mind. Yeah.
God,
Damn, that's
dang
fucking,
it.
that's a move, bro.
They go.
That
It's
is-
religion. So
Yeah, that is. And that's a beautiful mail time question. You know what I'm saying? That's a
That's
beautiful
good,
mail
that's
time
good.
question.
It was really good.
I wanted to know, is it, in a con, is it kind of like discreet in a certain way that there's a guy that for the past 10 years has been Batman. That's Batman. If I'm a noob and I'm just coming in, trying to put my big bucks, I'm gonna put $5,000 into a suit or whatever, and trying to give him a run for his money or whatever. How does that play out? Is there beef in the cons? Someone's using the same costume or whatever the case. How does that work out?
yes. First off, it's just obviously I've never had that issue where it's like, hey, you're copying my cosplay, right? But I find it ridiculous that people kind of bully each other, where it's like, no, but I did that cosplay first. I'm like, so who the fuck cares? Is the comic book yours too? Get your head out of your ass. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Now then, obviously there's the case of asking permission, right? You actually came up with this. Don't copy it and come up with your own.
Like a rendition of the...
There's a lot of confrontation that happens, obviously, and the cancel culture is huge in
the cosplay community?
It's huge.
In what sense? Elaborate on that.
Let's talk about sexual harassment.
Please.
A lot of girls, a lot of women, they dress up very sexy, very flattering and all that stuff, right? Unfortunately, there are people that think that just because a woman is dressed that way, they go ahead and slap their ass, right? and it happens, and there's people that have been confronted about that stuff, and they get canceled.
So people forget we're adults.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah, and some people, unfortunately, they have a good thing going for them as a cosplayer or entertainer or content creator, and they ruin it because they did something stupid.
Absolutely.
And you've got to respect people, especially where you don't know who's under the age of 18. In the
100%.
cosplay community.
100%.
Oh, fuck.
It's a very
That's
dangerous
alarming.
world.
Immediately,
100%.
bells just...
Very dangerous,
Nah.
very dangerous. And people don't take that into account. We've had people take pictures of women without their permission, under the skirt, stuff like that. It happens. And, that's why we got we have our inner friend circle, right? But we also have friend circle where we meet up with other people from out of town or whatever.
Gotcha.
Right? But, me and a group of guys, we have friends who they're not underage anymore, but we, at the time it was our responsibility to look out for them or whatever and stuff like that, especially with joint rooms and stuff like that. And even then it's hard, because you don't know the backstory and you're not going to go around asking a guy, hey, is she above 18?
You're right.
It's weird.
That's
I'm not a cop to ask that.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's hard.
I have no shame I do that shit. Bro. Hey, are you 18? No. Goodbye. I have no shame with that shit. Dude. Fuck no, I'm not getting caught.
It's a tough environment. There's a lot of going on, drama here and there.
So it seems like it's a pretty close-knit circle.
Yeah, I mean, people.
That's pretty cool.
It's like high school.
Okay,
you know?
gotcha.
Like, no, I can't believe you did that.
Right.
Like, oh, I can't believe it's high school. It's high school.
Do you find yourself, people that have been in the cosplay community for a long time, are they more likely to want to do the same cosplay year in and year out, try to maybe change up a few things or fix a couple things, or do they start from scratch every year? I want to try a new character this time.
Well, Alison Tabitha, who she does amazing work, right? She does like everyone, and she's amazing at it, right? Like
so every
a woman
turning into person.
Yeah, like a woman turning into like a completely different dude. And some of them are like Jack Sparrow, man, amazing. And you're just like
crazy.
You're just like, wow, like the skill and patience that first off, props to like the cosplayers that like use makeup, because I do not have patience for that.
Dude, I
do not have patience to mess up my face and be sweating all day and all that. It's icky. It's icky. At least for me. I mean, maybe I'll do it every once in a while, right? But
right.
That Ben Nye,
yeah,
bro.
And it's funny I say that now, because now I'm working on The Crow.
Oh,
so going back to Bruce
The Crow
Lee,
from the movie?
Yeah, so going back to Bruce
gang
Lee,
shit.
his son was The Crow, and
R.I.P.
I wanna see if I can nail that one. So I'm gonna have to shave and look 15 again, but it's part of the sacrifice,
How long would you say is the prep for an actual con or for your cosplay to be ready? People only see the finished product, but they don't see the amount of time that went into actually making the cosplay or you getting into the cosplay. Talk to me about the prep time.
It's like making a play, right? Like you want everybody to be in position. You want the lights to be shining on the right person, right parts, right? So it's the same thing with cosplay. Like you have to wake up at a certain time, sometimes, for the big cosplayers, like sometimes 3 hours. So if the con starts,
to get ready to get into character?
Yeah. Some people wake up at like 5, 4 to get ready by 9. It's crazy. It's intense.
Get the fuck out of here.
That is intense.
That's why I stick to armor.
You know what? You say that and it would make sense, because I have seen some like videos. Instagram usually is where I've seen them, where you got like dudes in huge mech suits and shit, where they got to be on stilts and they got to have. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That'd take forever to get into that shit.
And they sweat puddles.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They sweat puddles.
I'm sure
it gets hot.
Talk to me about pricing, man. That's one thing that I've always wanted to know, bro. I've seen some damn cosplays that they look like the actual armor from the movie.
Yeah, what's the budget?
They got hydraulics and shit. Like, what's going on?
Budget depends.
I guess what's your budget? What do you try not to go over? Like, what do you think?
And how often do you go over it?
So, so my friend Chris, he one day, I think it was earlier this year, or it was right before. Like towards the end of last year, right? And he goes up to me and he's like, we're just chilling at his place. And I think this was like right after we finished Nightwing, right? Our fan film. And I was exhausted, right? Like I was drenched. It was hot. I was wearing that thing. Like I had more planned for that, but Delgado Geek Vice had to like say, dude, you're done. Like let's film one more scene because you're gonna have a heat stroke.
Yeah.
I think if like I would have kept going, I would have killed myself. But I'm like, dude,
that dehydration,
right?
Yeah.
It came out so badass though. Like,
damn.
Anyways, back to so I'm on the couch. I'm like falling asleep, and Chris goes, "Hey, what if we get a 3D printer?" And I look at him.
I was thinking that too. It would make sense for some parts.
And so. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
So
before.
He's telling us the budget's pretty high.
It's pretty high. It depending on who you're collaborating with, your job, how far you want to go, what your idea is. It can be very efficient if you know what you're doing. Expensive, but very efficient.
Right.
Otherwise, compared to other people. Right, because like we're talking about like suits that go up to like 10,000 and
right. But these are like, but they buy the suit built. right? Or they
some
custom
people
do someone else.
Some people buy the suits built because there are companies that 3D print it and solely dedicated to that, right? But then there are people that are painstakingly, working it by hand. They don't even have a 3D printer, so it's like molding, all the sanding that we talked about earlier. That's why,
sanding.
yeah.
Are the people that are making their own stuff revered or respected far more than the people that just kind of just bought it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
Dude, I'm not even part of this community,
Definitely.
of course.
Right.
It's you see it, you just appreciate it. You're like, shit, you made that by yourself? And like, yeah.
Wow.
And I
They
feel like
show
you
you,
wear
like,
it
their cut-up
different too.
fingers.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you wear it like you're like,
I
oh,
feel-
this guy fucking made his shit, bro. Look at him.
Yeah.
Of course, that's where like the body shaming comes up, because there are people who like wear these cool suits or these cool characters and they put it on, and obviously like they're not,
Right. They don't look
they're-
like the character.
They don't look like the character, but then that doesn't give you right to tell that person like that they don't deserve to play their favorite character, right?
So if we're saying if Batman was 205 and your boy came in 5 months ago at 270, you know what I'm saying? It would be an issue, is what you're saying.
No,
but we would pretend like it's not.
Food scarcity in Gotham is a rampant issue, bro. It's a rampant issue.
Amen, bro. Amen. That's beautiful. God.
Is it we're importing the Gothamist sandwiches over here, bro?
Oh, bro, you gotta love the plug-in. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love the tie-in. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? Every single week we have three segments. You know what? And the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm talking about? And we ask our illustrious guest before us for a suggestion, a recommendation, something that you couldn't suggest to the masses, the crowd before us anymore. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you see a group of 10,000 people and there was only one film, one TV show that you could suggest to them. What would that be?
Wow. You guys hitting me hard with these questions.
Got to do it.
Damn.
Got to do it.
Man, what would it be? I'm a sucker for action.
Respect.
Hey, man.
I'm a sucker for it. And it's got to be a series or a movie.
Whatever you want,
Whatever you
brother.
want. It could be a comic book. It could be
It could be a
whatever you
comic,
want.
but yeah, it could
Any
be.
form of media.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess while you're thinking about it, in the spirit of comic books, Invincible. You
Yeah.
guys haven't
Invisible
seen
is really
Invincible?
good.
Yeah?
God
It's
damn.
It's intense. It's intense. I
Can't wait
love
for these
it.
new seasons, bro. Can't wait for these new
I love
seasons.
it.
You're really into it.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
So wait, so does this have to do like? Is it mainly focused on
Anything-
real life or anything?
Whatever
Anime?
you
It
want,
could be
brother.
animated. It
Bro,
could be
we've
CGI.
even had adult films be recommended, brother. So
Yes, we have.
Shout out Sarah J. Shout out Angelina Castro. Beautiful woman.
Shout out. Hell yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. All right, so can we split it like real life and then anime?
Yes, sure. Go for it.
So for anime, I had to go with Bleach, just because it's the details that go into that show.
He had a moment. He had a
That's
moment.
Cruz's sign of approval right
Yeah,
there.
that's 2 thumbs up from
It-
Cruz.
yeah, Bleach, and the fact that it's making a comeback now, it's a perfect time to catch up to it, right?
And is it the
it's
same
continuing?
same creators?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're bringing it on.
All right, and before you continue, how many out of 5 stars? What would that be?
Oh, definitely. For me, 5 stars.
Gang.
For me, 5 stars.
Cruz says nah. 4, right?
4.5. Full.
Five, okay, hell
Okay,
yeah,
5.
yeah, all
Okay.
of them.
I was right. Okay. And then real life. Oh man, I'm a sucker for Jason Statham movies.
Gang
You
shit.
can't go wrong with-
Transporter, boy.
You can't go
Damn,
wrong with
that's a
like
banger. That's a banger.
Just a badass
Hell yeah.
fight scene here
Oh,
and there.
yeah.
dude.
You know.
And that's why I shaved my head right there. Jason Statham right there. That and I had a B-boy accident, bro. And that's facts, bro. Emmy knows about that shit. Gang shit,
bro.
you know what I'm saying? That's D-Nuts. He used to be a B-boy.
B-boy D-Nuts,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Gang shit.
And how many stars would that be?
Man,
Which was your favorite Statham movie, though?
he's got a lot of good ones. I think I just like him. The transporter really did it for him.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did. Of course,
Yeah,
it
it
did.
did it for him.
So good.
Plus Miami shit, so fuck that. You know?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go with 4.5.
4.5.
4.5 stars.
Dang,
Yeah.
okay,
Actually,
that's
I even
beautiful.
love
Because
Expendables.
just because there's more like in those movies, like obviously there was like his early on movies,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
and there was
that's
more
true.
action and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's 4.5 stars is still good.
Hell yeah, the 5 what?
Hell yeah.
Can't complain. That's absolutely beautiful. Eddie, I do want to ask, in the subject or in the topic of body shaming and all that good stuff, talk to me about, I mean, you see it on his Instagram. The man's got a damn 12-pack on his damn belly. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta ask, what role does your physicality or your extreme physicality have on the roles that you play or that you're getting cast for? Is that something that you're actively going for? And you had spoken about physically fitting the role. Would you be opposed to gaining weight?
No, not at all. Method acting is my thing.
All that good
I
stuff.
love it. I love it because when the time comes, they're gonna give me the personal trainers, right?
Right.
Like we're talking about if we're talking about like 300 pounds,
That's gonna be,
and you have the people helping you there. It'll suck, but
what's
it's
his
still
name?
gonna be
Christian Bale. I
Christian
think Wahlberg
Bale.
is doing it right
Yeah.
now, right?
well, for one movie.
Wahlberg is doing probably like an Irish mob movie.
Yeah. He's gone from like super skinny to super overweight
Yeah.
to just right to
Bale has gone
fit
hard.
to, I think if there's any method acting you should follow, it's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
The guy goes.
He goes.
Because
"Hey."
what's this other guy's name? The guy that did the Abraham Lincoln movie.
What is it?
Thinking about it.
Oh my
He's
god.
like the most revered
Wait.
No,
method
I know what
actor.
you're talking about.
Oh
He
my
did,
god.
the movie with DiCaprio,
You're killing me,
Gangs
Smalls.
of New York.
You're killing me,
the guy with the
Smalls.
eye.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood.
trying.
He did. Guys, I'm giving you the world here.
God.
I'm giving you the world. What are we doing?
No, that's it. You know what? No, go.
There
Go.
will be blood. Come on.
That's
guys.
clearly Freaking
Daniel
Day-Lewis.
And I haven't even found it yet. It just
I
occurred to me.
can't with
Oh, Johnny
you.
Depp is another one.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
His method acting is different though because
he has embodied being drunk in a way that I have never seen anywhere before.
That's research. All right.
I mean, listen. No. Research is Jonah Hill, is Leo DiCaprio for Wolf of Wall Street. Johnny Depp just has a way of, because Leo looked like he was on lewds, looked like he was on
so good on that one,
bars,
yeah.
running rails, trash. Jonah Hill too, all of them. But Johnny Depp, I mean, just him in Pirates of the Caribbean, you're like, this guy's has been perpetually drunk for 15 years. 15 years, dude.
That's
15
beautiful.
years, dude.
God.
He rocks that so well. It's crazy.
And that's one, like I said, like you were saying, that's one of my goals is I wouldn't be opposed to gaining 300
Being
pounds
perpetually
or
drunk
whatever.
for 15 years. It's a good goal.
Some of that because acting,
Right.
but it's obviously I would love to be in a Marvel movie, right?
Right.
Like I want to be that main badass character. Funny, I wanted to be Moon Knight, but they cast Isaac, which is perfect, right?
Right.
Like I'm not complaining.
Who's the actor who's going to be Moonlight?
Isaac from Star Wars.
Oh.
Wait.
Paul.
New Han Solo?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Oh.
And that's a Miami native, baby. You know what I'm
is he
saying?
for real?
He was, yeah.
Oh,
He's
the
done,
gang shit,
yeah,
bro.
and he's actually acted in a bunch of theaters down here. I've auditioned for. Yeah. He's fucking Miami as shit. Yeah, he really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, and he can grow a hell of a beard too.
Oh yeah.
Man, fucking
oh,
The guy.
Disney's putting money on this guy.
No,
Star Wars and Marvel?
So Sarah Finn, right? She's one of their, or not one of their, but she's the person in charge. She's the reason we had Robert Downey Jr. become Iron Man.
Oh, so she's casting.
She is the reason why Marvel, is Marvel. I mean, like it's hard to cast.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you can just choose
and
someone.
they make
It's
it
like-
look
Yeah.
easy as fuck.
Oh yeah. When I heard
It's-
Paul Rudd was gonna be in the Marvel universe,
Yeah,
I'm
you were
like,
like,
all right, you
what?
guys.
But then
Fucked it up.
Yeah,
Right, and then it worked out great.
Hell yeah.
Yes, these
He's
guys,
Ant-Man.
she knows what she's doing. I mean, again, Sarah, if you're watching this, please reach out.
Sarah, we out here.
I will.
We've
act
got some
my heart
costume
out for
choices.
you.
We got some wardrobe
Sarah,
choices.
the man will gain 300 pounds. All right, like.
Oh, he'll hit 300, but game 300
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
I'm selling him.
mean,
I'm
you guys are
hyping
going
him
out
up.
for
I'm hyping him
1,000-pound
up.
sisters
I'm
over here?
hyping hyping him up. Okay, God.
Yeah,
And also,
but
what superhero weighs 450 pounds?
We you don't know. Maybe
you don't know what they're coming up with.
That's true.
I mean, it's
That's
Marvel.
true.
They got
They did
stuff.
just make
Marvel.
Safe Space in the other one.
They got
They did.
Snowflake.
You never know. You never know. Do you think that that the requirement of the 6-pack to be in an action movie is going to be a determining factor in getting a role in the next 10 years, or do you think it's kind of like fading away?
No, I don't think it's a requirement. I mean, obviously, like being physique and being a hero, it's not like, oh, you're supposed to have a 6-pack to be a hero, right? But hey, you're a hero, right?
Right.
You're not gonna like run around with a freaking
Yeah, bro.
600 pounds and you're overweight and you're like
290 pounds, you're not
losing
going to get there. Dude.
Yeah, you're losing your
You're not
breath.
gonna pull the
You're
helicopter.
definitely not gonna swing from buildings, right?
fuck, no.
So it's not like a
Reinforce those buildings.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like telling people like, hey, you gotta lose weight to be a hero. Like, no, but at the end of the day, you gotta think about it realistically,
Right.
Right,
There's
because we don't
physicality,
have overweight soldiers in Iraq,
Right.
We don't have overweight. I mean, we got sumo wrestlers, but that's a different league,
yeah.
right? Like those guys still
They're
eat healthy,
literally
they
in
eat
their
a
own
lot.
league. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I want to mess with a sumo wrestler. They gotta
Right.
step on me.
For real. Facts.
But it's I'm proud of Marvel and the way they depict the characters because they've opened up so many doors to like so many people, right?
Right.
And then it just makes you think like, man, like, it's not limited to me. It's not
Right.
limited to someone
Right.
with disabilities. It's not limited to someone who's, a minority or whatever, right? And they're playing a big part in that.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing a big part of that.
Eddie, what was your first acting experience like? What did you get into? What was your first job? Talk to me about that.
My first acting experience was a student film,
Very
right? Nothing too fancy, short, 5 minutes.
Were you nervous? Because it was your first time?
I wasn't nervous. I was more excited than anything because I'm like, finally, like this is a cool way to break out, right? Like
Hell yeah.
I can experiment with this.
Right.
Like student films are, if you're starting out, is definitely the way to go because
Right.
you get to learn about, the roles, scripts, angles, because
Etiquette.
etiquette, help, time.
Right.
You don't want to be late definitely don't want to be late. But it was a student film that we did in the University of Miami.
Shout out UM.
Shout out
And it
to
was,
bruh.
I think you know her sister, Stephanie Lorenzo, right? Jenny Lorenzo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I went to school. I graduated with Stephanie, and she went to UM to study, directing and
Very cool.
film. And she's like, Eddie, do you want to be in this, short film? And I'm an outgoing guy. I'm a Leo. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm super excited, right? I'm like 18, and I want to do all this stuff, right?
Right.
I want to be in the big leagues, and so. It was just this film about this guy who he wakes up at the dorm, right? And after a night of partying, he wakes up next to a girl that's not his girlfriend. And he's panicking because his girlfriend's knocking at the door. And then the other girl wakes up and he's got to figure out how to dance and get her in the bathroom while the other girlfriend,
Damn.
comes in and he's all nervous.
Making the maneuvers.
Yeah, so that was like my first, I liked it. I was like, I'm like,
I can relate to this.
and it was fun because it was it was what was happening in college, right? It's
Right.
like what happens in college. Obviously not all
You
guys
wake
are
up
like
confused
that,
very often.
but yeah, it was fun, and it was like it was in a dorm. We did it in the dorms of UM, and so the people in the front, right? Because in the hallway, and we're here, and then on the other side, someone starts playing porn, and all you hear, like in the mic, we're waiting,
Respect,
sounds
bro.
quiet on set, and then someone just,
Bruh.
and you hear it in the mic,
That's
right?
bro, that's location
That's Emi,
accuracy.
bro. That's Emi
location,
right
bro.
there.
That's-
They're just playing in full volume. We're just dying. I'm like, whatever. What are you gonna do, right?
Hell yeah.
And
Bro,
That's absolutely what I would do.
Bro, they got that quiet on set, se le metieron por el culo, bro, straight up.
so yeah, I had to be on my boxers the whole time.
Damn.
So for like, I don't know, I think it was like 6 hours, 5 hours. I was in my boxers, and the only food
Like
we
legit
had,
boxers, button
like,
boxers.
my boxers, my briefs,
Right, where-
boxer briefs.
But we're talking about boxers, we're talking about briefs. There's there's a plethora.
boxer briefs. It was boxer briefs.
Oh, okay, yeah, because
the
I'm thinking the boxer with the flap where you can easily.
Yeah, that's
no.
not
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny enough. It was in a girls' dorm, right? I don't know how the hell we got permission to
So
do
hold
that.
on, they're playing porn in the girls' dorm. That's even
Respect.
funnier, bro. Add that to the story because that's hilarious, bro.
So
That's hilarious.
I'm, it's time for me to film in on the hallway scene, right? And I'm
Hell
supposed
yeah.
to take the laundry downstairs, but I'm
My
in
boys in
boxers.
drawers out there.
And in that moment, I'm walking, like all the girls just come out like out of their dorms, and I'm in my boxers in the University of Miami, and I'm like, I didn't think I would
Hell
ever
yeah.
be in this situation before, right?
Damn.
And it's those fun stories that you get to tell people, because it's like, you see these fun things happening to the character on screen, but they also sometimes happen to the actor, right? And
What
then
an acting debut right there, bro. Oh.
it's
So
fun.
unrelated to the story, I've decided to take a back to
I'm gonna be a thespian.
This has been something I've been thinking about for a while.
It's fun. And then, obviously there's the whole kissing scenes, and I've only done 2. I was never nervous about it because I educated myself. It's not a responsibility thing. It's a mature thing.
Right.
You got to be mature about it. This is acting.
Have mouthwash on set, baby, and that's it.
Well, I thought you were
That's
saying
important.
I practiced kissing. I
Gee,
thought
It's
you were
important.
saying
I see TikTok.
yeah, out here sponsorship.
So it's those little details that you got to take into account when working a certain aspect, whether it's if someone wants you to be gay, right? You're not gonna be like, no, I'm a homophobe, right? Like, dude, you're an actor,
Right.
Like, do your job, right?
Right.
You can't just disregard what possibilities you have as an actor.
Or you
right.
won't get a lot of opportunities.
You
know?
need variety, you need range,
Right.
right? You can't just have a wall and it's like, no, this is how far I'm willing to go.
Right.
It's just not gonna work.
What's been a time that you've been truly challenged for a role, whether it be playing someone of that was gay, or playing someone that had to really go through an emotional turmoil, and like you said, you had to cry on command, or you had to really go through like a fucked up place in your life to really get to that role.
Well, it wasn't in any project. It was more of a practice.
Okay.
I looked up this guy online, and he was saying when you're acting, it's not just acting. You have to. It's real, right? It's like if the script says that your sister is dying in the hospital because she got into a car accident, your sister's dying in the hospital because she got into a car accident.
Yeah.
It's not. It says it on paper. This is real, right? And then you've gotta really think, and you gotta go like, fuck, like I have a sister, right?
Right.
So it's like it hit home, like that exercise.
Right.
So I'm doing the exercise, and I've never really done it to a certain extent before, where I was alone, right? Like I don't usually practice this stuff, like in public, obviously, because people are gonna be like, what the hell's wrong with that guy?
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Why is this guy fucking randomly
yeah.
crying in a line at Starbucks? What's going on?
I can see you doing that in the with the girls at the dorms in the hallway.
so I practiced it, and he was saying, remember, it's real. Everything that happens that I say is happening to you. So your sister's at the hospital, you're nervous, you don't know what to do, you're in New York, you're hailing a cab,
Right.
you're freaking out, right? And it's this thing that is like, in real life situation, it's not like you're gonna be doing things step by step, right? Like you fuck up, you're like, oh, like you don't know what to do. My sister's dying. You drop this,
Right.
You pick up the keys. You're nervous, right?
Right.
All these little tiny details make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, the mannerisms are fucking.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you trip while trying to lock the door and putting your coat on because you're in a rush, right? Your sister's in the hospital, right? And like at the end of the thing, I'm like bawling.
Yeah.
And he's like, and cut. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that was getting to me too, right? Like
Right.
the nose running, but it's tougher more times than others, because it's like sometimes it's like the angry cry, like you're pissed because someone did something to you and you couldn't believe why they would do that to you, right? And then it's the you know, the happy, the tears of joy, like I just won $1 million and you know, I can't believe because I've been working so fucking hard for this.
Right.
You know, and it's like, you know, it's that is one of my favorite challenges because you're vulnerable.
Right.
Nobody wants to be vulnerable. You don't like you're a man, you're not supposed to cry. Ben cry.
Right.
Fuck, Vikings cried, bro. Vikings were one of the most emotional warriors of time. And people are like, nah, dude, men don't
Shout
cry.
out Assassin's Creed, bro.
You know, it's like men don't cry. Like, men cry. Like, and if you can't get over that as an actor, then you know you're not gonna exceed
Right.
your
You
own
can't get there.
challenges.
Yeah.
You know?
I just say men don't cry if I can't emotionally get there for that scene. You know what I'm saying? That's facts.
Wow. I mean, there's the preparation. There's the preparation that people need to do.
100%.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm saying? We have three segments, you know what I'm saying? And the last one is actually the quest for the truth. You know what I'm talking about? And we ask our illustrious guests and everybody in the studio as well a random emphasis on the word random card from this here deck of cards. And here we
Deception, bro.
go. I mean, I can't,
Deception.
dude. How?
We're gonna change the name to Deception. That's the name of the segment.
What? No, we're not.
Midnight
That's
deception
tough.
in Miami.
That's tough. Having to get there emotionally. I don't know.
I got one.
You got it?
I'm getting better at this, bro. I am getting better at this.
Because you read them fucking 50,000 times.
Because
already,
we've
bro.
done most of them.
This is like a Cards Against Humanity kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess. No, I mean,
It's worse.
we have a
He
more.
forces emotional shit.
Yeah, I do. Actually, you got the fucking fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, bag of dicks. Eddie, what's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today?
A skill that I learned when I was young that I still use today.
And Emmy's is masturbation.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's a skill? I was like,
For Emmy, it is.
Perfected it. Let me tell you.
Perfectly.
We've cut time.
Is that the answer you're looking for?
We perfected it. You know?
Perfected it.
Perfection.
We're at 4 seconds now.
Gang shit, bro.
Jesus, masturbation. Wow.
Dang.
Hell yeah.
A skill.
I'm a ninja, bro.
Man. It would have to be using a card to open doors. Not breaking and entering. I never did that, but
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Got you. I could have a great career as a locksmith.
you just learn these things, right? It was
Right.
like it was kind of fascinating to me, and using like a simple card to wiggle in and open
Right.
the door, and I mean, sure, technology has advanced, but people still break in.
Right.
Plus,
They pretend it's fucking advanced.
Yeah,
Let me
they
tell
pretend
you,
it's fucking-
these smart locks that you can activate with only your phone and whatever, still give me a knife and I can still fucking open them. They're the same shit as
just
the
get a
old ones.
hammer and smash it.
There you go. Yeah.
Shit doesn't. It's the same shit.
All right.
And this is from someone that sells hardware for doors. I'm telling you, it's the same shit.
All right, so let's say we're locked out of the studio. Boom, we're calling Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie can get us in. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah.
There you go.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's beautiful. Emmy, what is one skill that you learned when you were young that you still use today?
Since you said my joke, I can't use my joke anymore.
Have another one after this, by the way.
There you go.
That I still use today, I don't know.
It could be useless, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Fuck you, bro. I always suck at these goddamn questions.
Juan Cruz, as Emmy is making up his mind, what's one skill that you've learned as a child that you still use today?
My skills in Halo.
Oh, you
Respect.
bitch.
Now, you're really fucking
bitch.
Emmy with
Okay,
that one.
man, why didn't I say that?
Also, I would kick your ass in Halo.
Debatable.
That's a fucking fact.
Debatable.
We can debate about how right I am. I guess it degrees to how right. Oh, you know what? If that's what we're going with, bro, my skills in Mario Kart. Come
No,
fucking
you
catch
can't-
me.
you can't-
I've only ever lost to one person, Trevor. You're a bitch. Fuck you, and you know it.
You can't hop off
Also,
his own
you
answer.
have beat me. You have beat me, and I deserve that loss. He's the only person that's ever beat me. And
Are you
fuck
serious?
Trevor. Yeah.
Ever?
Ever.
In Mario Kart?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, like I've lost, but because I've been drunk or like not for real playing. But for real playing, Trevor beat me. Trevor, you bastard. You're gonna watch this in Rebel, so fuck you.
Respect. Big shout out, Trevor.
Yeah. Also shout out Iggy, bro.
Gang. Katya, what is one skill that you've learned as a child that you still use today?
First of all, Emi, thanks for taking my Mario Kart answer.
Gang shit.
I've only lost to one person. That's Julian Moreno.
But we know you carry these.
shout out Julian. He was on here.
Yeah, shout out Julian.
You carry these L's. They follow you.
There you go.
I mean, it's not a fun one, but it's very practical. So I've been cooking since I was very young.
Right.
And I always thought that was something that everybody could do. Like,
No, it's a
everybody
skill.
cooks
Bro, I
their
can't
own-
make ice.
Skill.
No. And I can tell you that
Actually,
like,
it's a good one. Yeah, cooking. It's a good one.
it's just a thing
Yeah.
that I've been taught since I was a kid. So whenever we'd finish playing, like we'd come back, I'm the one that would make the snacks for
Right.
everybody or whatever.
Oh,
So now-
hell yeah.
Yeah.
You and I would be biffles.
Gang.
For sure.
Gang.
Now as an adult,
yeah.
I've noticed that none of my friends cook. Like
Oh, right.
anytime we have a get together,
They can do
dinner,
like the
Uber
eggs
Eats.
and shit. I'm proficient at Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Proficient at Uber Eats.
Bro,
Yeah.
I have to ask, did you ever get the Aladoro on Uber Eats?
No, I'm too far.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. But I'm being told
Yeah.
that they're not even, I don't know, we'll have to hit up Aladoro.
But
They're
not
popping
specifically.
up.
I have a friend that found it on one of the food apps. But
Okay,
but it was
chilling.
there. That's because they live in Wynwood.
I got a fun Uber
Cooking.
story for
Okay.
you guys.
Like
Cooking, that's a
Uber
good one.
Eats.
Uber Eats.
Cooking is a good one, and that's
Cooking
a
is
great
good one.
That's a
Actually,
great.
what about you, bitch? Fucking busting my balls right here.
Mine would be soccer. Being a goalie at soccer, how you've never scored a goal on me. You've never scored a goal on me, number one. Number two, shout out Danny Chavez, because every single time that he has a UFC fight, the way that he prepares is by having a soccer game with all of his pupils, and I always beat his ass.
Gang shit. Also,
You know
shout
what I'm
out
saying?
Colombia, bro.
You're
Right?
saying that because he's not here to argue it with you. Because
Yeah, he's not.
I've
He's not,
been
'cause
at
it would
most of
be-
those soccer games.
It would be a 5-hour episode, okay? Shout
would
out
be.
Danny Chavez.
Shout out Danny Chavez. Shout out Colombia. Shout out Argentina.
Gang.
There was a great game for Colombia. Shout out.
Don't get me
You were saying, I'm
started
sorry, you were starting
with
with Uber.
this, okay? Because you injured a goalie, you had a... Okay, we're not doing this right now, all right?
So Uber Eats, right? Fun story time. I decided to use Uber Eats for the first time ever, right?
Okay.
And I order at like maybe 6 p.m.
Okay.
Right? And I order from this place in Coral Gables.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, I'm hungry. I'm gonna order from this place. So this woman, Maria.
The fact that you still remember her name...
Yeah,
is
means
like,
it starts
oh,
to get
shit.
good.
Story.
Yeah.
Personal Maria.
Did she eat your
Maria.
shit?
So I don't know. That's the thing.
Oh,
so
she ate your shit.
She accepted my order because when you're an Uber Eats driver, you're supposed to accept the orders or whatever. Like, yeah, I can do
right.
that, right?
Right.
Like,
Which is a responsibility.
It's a
people.
responsibility, Maria. So she accepts my order, and I'm like, all right, cool. She's right there, right? She's like right there, and I'm just waiting, and the time to delivery is getting, later and later, and I'm like, all right, where the hell's Maria, right? And she hasn't moved from that one spot. And then I text her, I'm like, hey Maria, how's my order going? She goes, oh, sorry, my app's frozen. Can you reorder? I'm like, Maria, it's 8. I ordered at 6, right? And she's like, no, it's just that my app froze. I'm like, then how the heck are you typing to me, Maria?
Oh my God.
Maria sus.
And
Maria Massa.
Yeah, so she ended up like she just left me on red, right? And I'm like, I was like, what do I do, right? So obviously if you like cancel or whatever, you still pay them. So I had to like wait for for it to end or whatever.
Right. So you get your money back.
Yeah, I didn't know how Uber Eats worked.
Right.
So
And this was your first ever time?
Yeah, so you don't know
Yes.
customer
Sucks.
services
Yeah.
thing, and yeah.
So I'm like, I'm waiting, right? And then Maria finally starts to move, right? And she, I remember her telling me that she was nowhere near the place.
Bro, is it they
And
don't
she's-
know
Bro, I
where
can
to
see
geolocate
it,
that.
bro. Like,
Yeah,
idiots.
she's right there, and I'm like, Maria, it's 10, and you told me you were nowhere near the place, and I can see you on the GPS, right? But she never answered. So, it hits 11, and I'm like, all right, I'm tired of this crap. Maria, I can see you're in the GPS. Can you please cancel my order? Because I can't use the app to order other stuff, right? Also, I can also see where I assume this is where she lived because it was an apartment complex. She's been there for hours.
She's there with a
Yeah.
leash.
She's oh yeah.
So I was like,
She had an appointment.
I was like, Maria, I can see where you live. Can you cancel the appointment? Like, she immediately canceled when I said, like, and you know where you lived, right? And it's funny that she ended up living right in front of like the family complex that we own in the Gables.
No.
And I'm like,
Maria,
I was texting my boys. I was like, I'm this close to getting in my car and going to find Maria,
Gang shit. Gang
my shit, bro.
right? But you know, the next day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna order again and hope this doesn't happen again. And then the next day I got was it Javier? It was Javier.
Javier, don't do me wrong.
Javier already fucked up.
He started.
Yeah.
Listen, he started towards the end of last December, and he's
You know
made,
his
like,
life story.
Yeah. Well, it says it there.
Yeah.
He's like a diamond, right? And he's made
Immigrated
like,
from El Salvador.
Blood type AB positive.
He's made like 1,000 deliveries since then. And I'm like, nobody can like that's a lot of deliveries.
My man Javier's out there working.
Hey, Javier is
13
putting in
deliveries.
those numbers,
Yeah, like,
baby.
he knows
He's picking up the
each-
slack that Maria's leaving
Yeah.
behind.
I was like, Javier made up for
Yeah.
Maria. Like,
Javier's the truth.
I gave that guy a tip.
Gang, hell yeah. Javier's the
deserves it.
truth.
Yeah, he
Damn.
There's a man. I wish I'd have known you back then, dude. Because you could just write Uber like on the actual app. There's the contact us, and they text message you. So Uber Eats will text you through the app. That even if you close the app, it comes into your actual SMS for your phone. And whenever they exceed, because they'll tell you an estimate, right? Like for example, you order at 6, they say your food will get there by 7:30. But when you actually do it, it says range between 7 and 8 is the time frame. Once you pass that 8 marker, they'll give you your money back and they'll give you extra shit. Like they'll be like, nah, we super fucked up. We'll give you free delivery for the next one or whatever. I've only ever had to do it twice. I'm very lenient with my Uber Eats because I'm usually just sitting at home like, fuck it, like I'm working or I'm doing something. But I mean, there's some times where you're like, dude, it's been 3 hours. What the fuck? I ordered Panda Express. That shit is a block away. You know? Yeah. Fuck you, Maria.
Bro.
Fuck you and people like you, Maria.
For real, man.
My
My man Eddie paid for your dinner date and for your coolish sesh.
For
and that's
real.
fucked up.
my
She was,
my
she was at the
theory.
crib session.
No, she was.
For
You know,
real.
Maria was an older woman. My theory is that she
Don't trust those
She
pictures, bro.
downloaded Uber, thinking it was for her, but she became a driver by accident. I don't know. I don't know how it
You're too
works.
nice, bro. You're too nice.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It was too
Dude, I'm
coincidental.
telling you, I use Uber Eats religiously, very too often. And the picture that shows up of whoever's showing up, 50% of the time is not that person.
Right.
Really?
The vehicle,
It's not that
50% of the time, not that vehicle.
Wow.
The majority of the time it says a motorcycle's coming. I have not but once ever seen a motorcycle ever pull up.
And 90% of my deliveries are motorcycles.
Legit motorcycles?
90%.
I got the last
For real?
delivery. My last
They're
delivery
all
was
going to you
motorcycle.
because none of them come to me, dude. And they're always a little motorcycle icon. And it's like you're going to have a moped or some shit pulling up. And then a fucking SLS pulls in. And you're like, what?
Not
Uber
the
Eats?
other-
What are you doing, dude?
The other 10% of the time, it's like a van with a whole family and one person gets out of the car.
You know,
and answers the
at
door.
first I was like, this is dumb. I was like, why are you riding 3 deep in this bullshit?
Right.
But then they had like 4 or 5 orders. So they were going through this stuff and we were just kind of bullshitting. And it was 2 friends, like 2 homies just sitting in the car doing it together. And one of them was like, oh, you know, we just split this shit and we just bullshit for like 6, 7, 8 hours. And the other guy was like, can we get fucking stoned? And I was like, you know what?
That's kinda
that would be
chilling.
legit as
Respect.
fuck. Because you know how boring it is to
Bruh.
just by yourself. It's
Yeah.
like, that's the move. 2 people.
Oh.
Now whenever I see 2 people, I'm like, all right, for sure.
That would, bro.
Makes sense.
Bro, had it been like a year, 2 years after high school, I would have been Quinta, you and I, just bro, in a damn Dodge Neon, making dreams happen. You know, that was beautiful. God, that was beautiful.
So quick, you're wearing an MMA master shirt, right?
Yes, sir. Reppin'.
What's your history in that? Because like as a martial artist, I love also learning.
Well, your boy's the meanest white belt you ever, you know what I'm saying, seen in your life.
Second meanest white.
Sorry, my bad.
Shade has
My bad.
been thrown.
She's on her way to getting her stripes. I'm nowhere near any
nice.
stripes. You know what I'm
and
saying?
this is in what?
Jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu. Also, all bullshit aside, I did, so before we got into MMA Masters, there was this place called Fight Club. And we did jiu-jitsu
Right
there.
by Flanagan's.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Is it
Yes.
Yeah.
And now
Oh
they're
yeah, it's on 12, right?
yeah, and now they're making it
was.
like those like those like little bougie gyms with LED lights everywhere. I'm not shitting on LED lights clearly, you know what I'm saying, but yeah. So we started there, and I started with boxing more than anything because I didn't want to get and still do an amateur boxing match under my belt.
Gang shit.
Gang, you know what I'm saying, a little homage to my grandfather, and what's it called? And through there is kind of how I got into jiu-jitsu, where I met Katya, upwards of what,
You started in Fight Club as
2-3
well?
years ago now.
2-3 years ago.
You
Yeah.
started in Fight Club as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go to cardio boxing, and then my cousin and my best friend and I were 3 girls, and we would watch jiu-jitsu, and it was an all-male class. So we're like, I want to do jiu-jitsu, but there's
Hell
so
yeah.
many guys. And then we started there, and then shortly after I met Juan.
So her cousin is
Hell yeah.
Michelle, who
Right.
came with Julian on the
Okay.
who was at White
knows
Lion.
Eddie?
Right.
Right. Right. It's everybody. It's all connected. It's all
Hell yeah.
connected.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all interconnected. But yeah, boxing more than anything, and then kind of made the transition to jiu-jitsu, and now recently I've gotten into Muay Thai as well.
Nice.
Getting those kicks in, with these thunder thighs. You can't leave them alone. You know what I'm
The
saying?
knees are important too.
Oh yes. Have you dabbled into any other martial arts as well?
Yeah, so Taekwondo is my main one,
Gotcha.
obviously, but I got into boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, pretty much all the extreme ones,
Very cool.
just because I love it,
Right.
you know, and plus I don't like to be just like limited to one. Like I want to be a badass.
Hell yeah.
I want people to be like he cosplays, but he'll fuck you up. You know,
That's nice.
especially
That way
if he's
put some work on you, bro.
especially if he's in a suit, like he'll mess you up, right?
Dang.
That's like we made our suits to be flexible like that.
Right.
Like, it's funny. Like
Get you in the damn
real life
arm bar with
scenarios,
this,
but-
bro.
Eddie's looking for some challengers to be fucking cons, bro.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Well, I'm not gonna be surprised like if that like shows up with like all
That's
these
gotta be a thing
YouTubers
eventually.
fighting.
Right?
All these YouTubers already fighting each other. Like
They
it's
are.
YouTube against TikTok or whatever.
Oh, I saw that. I
and
saw
now
that.
it's like Logan Paul and the Paul brothers, who I will not hesitate to fight.
Right. All right, bro, put that on my tombstone. You know what I'm saying, bro? Me, Eddie,
What is
bro.
this world coming to, bro?
It's. I mean,
Make your money,
It's just
bro,
the
whatever.
disrespect to not only the art, but to like it's just not that authentic trash talking anymore, right? Because there's that respect in trash talking.
Right, it's WrestleMania
20
bullshit.
years ago,
Exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. 20 years ago, trash talking was respected.
Right.
You don't go up to like your opponent's car and slash it.
Right.
Right. Because that's what the Paul brothers do.
Right.
Right. I guess I am talking crap about them, but if they want to challenge
you
me,
can't do that.
if they
You
want to
can't do
challenge
that.
me, whatever.
You can't go slash someone's tires, but I will shoot you.
Right.
And that's what it's about, right? It's just disrespect, right? The respect isn't there anymore, and I feel like people are always like, dude, why don't you get into UFC or professional boxing or go for the title or whatever? I'm like, it's not off the table, right?
Right. No, of course.
But I am focusing on my other stuff, my
Right.
my other passions. I retired from competing in Taekwondo because it was either wait for the moment to finally arise in Taekwondo, right? With all of these new gadgets coming out and we were pretty much guinea pigs with the whole scoring system, right? And I've unfortunately, I think one of the big factors that made me retire was me losing by 1 point because of a bad call of a referee and not being able to get on the national team. And that pissed me off. I was just want to kick the referee's ass, right?
Wow.
And it was tough. I called my dad. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm pissed because I should have won that. And everyone's saying it. And because the iPads didn't catch it or whatever, like they're counting it, the points towards the other guy.
That's
a headshot that didn't happen. And headshots are 3 points, right? So, I retired because I was like, it's just too stressful cutting weight, 20 pounds. every other
Wow.
week.
God damn.
Yeah, no, I would get shredded, and then it was hard on the body. I lost my hair. I had to get a hair transplant,
Respect.
and as a 20-year-old, you don't want to lose your hair or whatever. I mean, some people don't care, right? Like you just shave it off. I shaved it off for a bit, but I still missed it. So I got the hair transplant and got hair back, and I'm super happy.
Hell yeah.
But it's confidence for me, and it's there was a lot of factors into it. You know, I was like, it's either my health or keep doing this or.
Well, plus
you know,
can't go for roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Full face.
Exactly. Plus, I retired from competing, not training. So it's like, you know, like I said, it's not off the table that
Right.
if I ever do decide, someone's like, dude, you should go for the title. It's like, well, all right. I know the dedication it takes because I've had, you know, at school, kids literally sit on me
Right.
as I'm going down. And that's probably excruciating, you know, pain. And, you know, it's a scary thought. I mean, like people are like, dude, that's why like the Paul brothers, like the respect is in there because, you know, they've only been training what, like a year?
Years
Yeah,
ago,
something like
at
that.
the most.
It's just, those are like white belt
Right.
numbers, rookie
Right.
numbers.
Rookie numbers. That's
Rookie
facts.
numbers.
That's facts.
Like there are legends and people, badass people that haven't competed in years that can still like, you know,
Okay.
go all out and,
yeah.
and show you what respect is.
Right.
Right.
Eddie, before we start wrapping up this magnificent episode, you know what I'm talking about. I do want to ask you, what was the time that you can recall that you went into a con and you had seen someone's getup that was so just, you know, your jaw dropped, like you couldn't just fathom the amount of work, the amount of hours that they had put into this cosplay. Talk to me about some of those memorable cosplays.
It would happen to be the first SuperCon I went to, and it was actually the weekend of my birthday, right? So
That's awesome.
That was a great, you know, birthday weekend, and that's where pretty much I met everybody, right? Like my current cosplay friends. But I got there, I was setting up for the Marlins. I was like, I'm gonna take a walk. Let me see what this place is about. And I remember I had followed a cosplayer not too long ago by the name of Mark Knight Rises. Awesome dude, you know, great guy. His mains are, you know, Batman, but he also does Wolverine, right? Because I'm like, this guy is like doing two of my favorite characters, right? And I didn't know. I thought he was just some Instagram guy. And then next thing I know, I'm like, you look familiar. But like, and then he's like, yeah, this is my Instagram. I'm like, oh, I follow you. And that was like my first like fandom kind of feel. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're so cool. Like, you know, your things are so cool. And I think that's the first time I got inspired. I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta bring it up. Like, you know, and bring it up. And, you know, it was a great experience because it's like, you know, you find this whole new appreciation for a passion that you didn't know you had, right? It's like you discovered this happiness that was missing from your life, right? Because you're just like, now it's always like this whole, you know, like what am I gonna cosplay next, right? Or what am I gonna film next, right? Which, by the way, me and Geek Vice are planning a really, really badass fan film for Moon Knight.
Hey, stay tuned for that. That's
gonna be intense. But again, that's how, you know, it goes full circle, right? And I'm happy where I am now, and I'm gonna keep growing and coming up with more badass things and more collaborations, and hopefully come back here and,
hell yeah,
and have more funny stories.
We would love that. We would love that. What, do one in the full getup? You know what?
Oh yeah, you know, I was gonna ask you that, but I was like, I'll leave it for
the next time. I don't know. You know how you can get your diction across. I don't know, you know, with the mask. I don't know, you know, if it's difficult or not. But we would absolutely.
I gotta
love
check one
that.
of these cons though.
Oh, for sure. What?
I'm gonna fangirl if I see a Zorro out there. Also, fuck you, animation.
Yeah.
Funimation rather. Fuck you guys.
Why? What happened?
Because of the dub thing, bro.
Hurry up. Damn. Hurry up,
Fucking
man.
One Piece,
It's like, what character would you do?
What I do?
Yeah, as a cosplay. You could be the new.
That's a good question.
You could be the new Spider-Man's best friend.
Fucking bitch. Actually, I heard he's getting yoked.
Is he now?
Yeah.
All
The fuck, what's his name? His best friend from Spider-Man. Ned? Yeah. He's getting yoked, right? Apparently he's gonna be one of the bad guys now.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I've heard theory that he's maybe the next Green Goblin.
Nah. What?
All right.
All right, don't rely on that.
Hobgoblin.
Don't rely on that information.
Look it up. Look, I promise. It's a very prominent.
I mean, he's not too far out. I mean, with the multiverse and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, his best friend does become. This is a comic.
That's true. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So it's not unheard of
Right.
that it could happen.
It could happen.
The
mean,
whole
James Franco,
being
bro.
tired of being the sidekick.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good way to take
I mean,
it.
it's a very because he's lost a lot of weight. A lot of
Okay,
weight. Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie, where, you know what I'm saying? Where can the people follow you? You know what I'm saying? Where can the people follow your journey as far as all the different cosplays that you're going to do, your acting, all that good stuff? Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Eduardo_Lagares.
Boom. You see it
I don't know where you're gonna put, like, right
the
here?
screen. Yeah, somewhere along those lines. Or point down. Let me
Right.
see. Boom. You see it. That's beautiful. Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, what an episode of Colossal Proportions. Can we please give it up for our guest today? Oh, my God. We could not be more ecstatic. Eddie, thank you
Thank
so
you for
much
having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
for
Pleasure.
dropping on
It's a
by.
pleasure.
Absolutely, bro.
What an episode of Colossal Proportions. We thank our in-studio
Hell
audience
yeah.
as well.
Great
You know what I'm
questions,
saying?
great
Hitting
questions.
us with
That
those
was a really good question.
bangers. You know what I'm saying? Hitting us with
Amazing
those bangers. The scariest white belt you will meet in your life. You know what I'm talking about? Next to me, holla at your boy. Every Thursday at midnight, what you doing? You go on YouTube. You go on Deezer. You go on
iHeartRadio.
there you go. He's always right there with his cue. You know what I'm
Gang
saying?
shit.
We go on Pandora. We're on Spotify. We're on everything. But more than anything, check out the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You got the visuals. You know what I'm saying? You got clips. You got pictures of everything that he's talking about. You got videos of what the man's talking about. Check out the YouTube. Hit that subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Because every Thursday at midnight, you're going to get new guests, a new story. And Eddie, we cannot possibly wait to have you
Hell
back
yeah.
on
I'm
set,
excited.
brother.
Hell yeah. It's
Back
gonna
on
be great.
set, brother. Cannot wait for a couple more of those con stories, and we'll have you come in a full get up, and that'd be
Hell
dope
yeah.
as fuck.
I thought
you know
about
what
it. It'd
I'm
be
saying?
some Star Wars cosplay.
Oh, okay, bro.
I got a Star Wars costume.
Bro,
Gang
look,
shit.
I'm not. Look, I don't know if I pertain to that community yet, but I just started. started.
Hell yeah.
I just started watching Star Wars for the first time.
Really?
The movies or the show? Where are you in right now?
The movies.
Okay, but we just started.
and I'm in the Return of the Jedi.
You just started Return of the
Oh, the
Jedi?
fir-
So
yeah.
you saw them in order, 1, 2, 3?
Yes. No, I mean 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so you literally just starting then.
Right.
This is your first
First
okay.
time ever. So
But wait until you get into like the Clone Wars.
yeah, right. No, I mean,
Awesome
The lore
show.
is intense.
I'm
The lore is
excited
intense.
because if I appreciate it now with what they were able to do in the fucking 70s and 80s, I can only imagine the graphics now. I mean, it's gonna be out of this world.
Graphics, yes.
Yeah.
Graphics.
Oh, well, oh, that's all he's.
Yes.
He's
Graphics,
like,
yes.
but that's about it. But that's about it. That's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen,
They know what they did.
Oh, damn. Well, hopefully it's
They're
it's a
still good
pleasurable
movies. I
experience.
enjoyed
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, you got you're
I can
either
remove my
gonna love them or
emotional
hate
part
them.
from it, yeah.
You're either gonna love them or hate them. Eddie, thank you so much for dropping on, bro.
you for
On by,
having
brother.
me.
We cannot wait to have you come back again, man. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Every Thursday at midnight, you know what it is. Holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. Where you can push it to the limit. It gets real without